Hola, hola, ¿cómo están? Espero que estén muy bien. Buenos días a todos. Good morning. My name is Simonet. Mi nombre es Simonet y soy profesora de español. Good morning, everyone. I hope you are well. As you can see from the title, this live is going to give you some insights on what to expect on we have 3 papers for CSEC Spanish, so what to expect. Now, I'm going to be sharing the PowerPoint. This PowerPoint was done by Mrs. Ramona Smith Hamilton, so I just want to go ahead and start with that. It was sent to those who would have visited the workshops that was held. There were 2 workshops that were held. So you would have gotten the PowerPoint. So I'm going to go through that PowerPoint that was done by Miss Smith Hamilton, and we are going to have a discussion. Now, this should be an interactive live, guys, because I want to hear what you're thinking, what's happening, where you are. No, just words of advice. If you have done the oral examinations already, because it started April 12th, there's still some persons who have not done it yet, so I don't want anybody to write any of the questions that they got in the chat. So that's the first thing. Otherwise, we're doing our discussions. We're going to be responding some questions, and you're going to tell me what are some of your questions, what are some of your concerns, and then we'll take it from there. So welcome to each and every one that's here. You can tell me who you are if you like and which school you're representing. So let me know. Let me get agua. Yo quiero agua. Tengo que beber agua. So let's see. Yes, guys. So thank you for joining the live. Thank you each and every one of you for being here. So yes, here on YouTube, which school are you representing? Where are you from? And any questions that you might have before I start the live. Again, commendations to those who would have done their CSEC oral examination already. For those who, tomorrow is the beginning of a new week, you might have your exams this week. Buena suerte. And for those who would have done it already and you're a little nervous, we still have 2 more papers to go. So you got this. Si se puede. All right. So go ahead, guys. You can post it in the chat and let me know which school you are representing. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with the information. As you can see, it says CSEC Oral Examination 2022, and you can see the name here, Ramona Smith Hamilton, Education Officer of Spanish for the Ministry of Education and Youth, and that's in Jamaica. So let's begin. It says a practicar. So that's the first thing we're doing. So I want those who are here to help me. So, preséntate dando por lo menos un dato personal. So, you're going to go ahead. You can talk about su apariencia, su música, o su música favorito, o su artista favorita, o su residencia, pasatiempo, lo que sea. Pueden decirlo. So, guys, who is ready? Who is going to tell us? So look at this screen and you can put it in the chat. Also, if you want to come on screen and do the presentation, just indicate in the chat and I'll send the link so you can join me live. So who will it be? ¿Quién va a ser? ¿Quién va a ser? For example, for me, I could say, mi nombre es Simonet Hibbert. A mí me gusta viajar y comer helado. So, or what else do you like to do in your free time? Guys, if you're on the live, I want to hear from you because I want this to be very interactive. So, Kimba said, who will it be? Who is here? I'm seeing some persons on the live. ¿Quién va a ser? Who will it be? Who will it be? Who will it be? ¿Quién va a ser? Dum, da-dum, dum, dum, da-dum, da-dum, dum, dum. All right, so while we wait, I have not seen anybody to give their response just yet. I know persons are here. Don't be nervous, guys. You can go ahead and put it in the chat. And as I always say, mistakes are a part of learning. In the event that you make a mistake, that's fine. All we need to do is to fix it and we will continue. Okay? So let's not stress too much about it. All right. So, Nadia. All right. So if you're watching this, if you're not on the live, when you're watching this video, I'm going to ask you to write your response in the chat. Okay? All right. Seguimos. Let's continue. And again, just want to remind you that you can do this. Si se puede. All right, so what are the objectives? We want at the end of this, you should be able to apply the mark schemes and the rubrics for the different aspects of the CSEC examination to do your best. You want to also provide you with opportunities to employ strategies and give you tips on how to score high. All right, and any challenges, any concerns that you have, I'd like to address them today. Okay, so tengo una pregunta. Or you tell me if you have any questions. Now I'm seeing some persons here, guys, but I'm not seeing any responses in the chat. So go ahead and put something in the chat. If you're here, if you can hear me, maybe you are not hearing me. So go ahead, even a hola. If you can hear me, please put hola in the chat. So let me see if you guys can hear me. If you are hearing me, please write hola in the chat. All right. Guys, can you hear me? ¿Pueden oírme? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I want to know if you can hear me. Can you hear me now? Hola, hola Anthony. Hola, hola, ¿cómo estás? Espero que esté muy, muy bien. All right, I see Learn CD's way says hola, hola guys. Now I know persons are here with me and I'm not here by myself. All right. So, awesome. All right. All right, awesome. Awesome, awesome. So, seguimos. Let's continue. All right. So, tengo una pregunta. All right. So, you might be asking, what's the weighting of the exam? So, how do I get my 100%? In total. So we have three papers. Paper one, which is listening, and the thing with the exam is that the papers you do them in reverse. So you're gonna do the orals first, which is paper three, then you're gonna do paper two, and then you do paper one. So paper one is the listening and reading comprehension aspect of the exam, and that's 25% of your total grade. Now, paper two is the free response slash and also writing aspect of the exam, and that's worth 42% of your total score. And paper three is the oral examination, which is the one that you usually do first, and that's 33% of your total grades. Now, if you knew that, you can indicate in the chat, hola. Hola, no sé qué está pasando. I don't know because I didn't see any comments before Anthony's comment. Oh, hola, hola. Hola, no. Hola, René. Verona. Hola, hola. Buenos días de San Kitts. Buenos días. Okay. All right. So, Let's continue. Um, So that's the waiting of the exams for those who might be wondering. No, I don't know if you heard earlier because it seems as if something was happening to the live earlier. Again, this PowerPoint I'm going through, most of you would have it because it was sent to you by Mrs. Ramona Smith Hamilton, the education officer, one of the education officers for Spanish here in Jamaica. I'm just going through the contents. So this PowerPoint was created by her. So I want to put that out there. All right. Um, okay. So what else? Let's continue. Otra pregunta. Do you know the topics that will be covered in the CSEC oral examination? What are the topics? What was your first comment, Renee? I see that was my first comment. Guys, go ahead and all right. What was your first comment? All right, so guys, are you let me go ahead and share my screen once more. No, I've not seen your first comment. Still not seen it. All right, let me continue sharing my screen. All right, my question is, what are the topics that are on the exam? Do you know? What are the topics? Mi nombre es René. Me gustaría practicar el español en mi tiempo libre. Oh, okay. I mean, yo también. Yo también. I'm seeing it now. What are the main topics being asked? All right, great question. So we're gonna be looking at the topics, and that's next. So let me just go ahead and use another format to share my screen. All right, seguimos. All right, I see travel in the chat. I see Renee saying home and family, travel, shopping. Awesome. Anybody else? School and career. See, ¿qué más? All right. Seguimos. All right. So we have la casa y la vida familiar. So home and family. Tenemos travel, el viaje. All right, let's see. Daily routine. Daily routine. I see. Yes, I see Anthony's comment. I see Renee's comment. See. Okay. Tenemos el viaje. También tenemos de compras. So we already said shopping. El recreo. La rutina diaria. Y la vida escolar. So, what is the format of the CSEC Spanish examination 2022? 2022. What is the format of the CSEC Spanish examination? Right, I see sports and recreation. Paula PP, welcome. C, what is the format? What's the format of the exam? I am trying to see if there's a way to just click next on this, but no está pasando, so I have to keep. Okay, let's see. All right, so paper one. Paper one is the one that you're going to do last, which is the listening and reading comprehension aspect of it. And it looks at your ability to listen and understand a number of items in the target language. So, and both of them requires you. So there are two sections, and both sections require you to demonstrate a mastery of the essential elements of grammar and vocabulary. as prescribed in the CSEC syllabus. And more you realize throughout is that what you realize throughout is that the aim of it is to see what you know, and you have been preparing for this, so you just need to continue. So for the listening exam, how is it structured? As I said, two section. For so you're listening for the first 30 questions, because there are a total of 60 questions on paper one. So the first 30 you're listening, and then for part B, it's a reading comprehension. So you're reading and then you're responding to some questions. So it's a total of 60 questions. So that's a total of 60 marks. And as I said before earlier in the live, the papers are 1, 2, and 3. But the order in which you're going to do them is 3, paper 3 first, which is oral, paper 2 second, and then paper 1 is usually the last paper. So for paper 2, you are going to have some situation responses. That's 30 marks. Then a letter, which is 30 marks also. Contextual dialogue, 20 marks. And a reading comprehension, 20 marks. And I would have done this in my CSEC playlist. So guys, you can check out the CSEC playlist here on my channel, and you'll see me going through various sections of the exam. So you can check this out. That will give you a total of 100 marks. Now, for the situation responses, as the name suggests, it's a situation. So you put yourself in that situation, use the appropriate tense, use the appropriate vocabulary, and you can get your 30 marks. Same for the letter, same for the contextual dialogue, and the same thing for the reading comprehension. Is checking to see what you know. So there are a total of 10 situation responses. Each one is 3 marks. That's how you get your 30 in total. So for the letter, you're writing a letter. Look at the word limit, 100 to 130, sorry, to 150 words. And it's checking to see how well you use the language. So you want to ensure that you have your vocabulary, your idioms, and think about your tenses. If it said something you did last year, then you want to make sure that you're using in the thing in the past. Hola, Omika. Yes, Anthony. Awesome. Yes, so you're doing the paper 3 first, then paper 2, then paper 1. Hola, Onika. All right. So, seguimos. Now, I don't know if you're seeing. Let's continue. So, we spoke about the letter, the contextual dialogue already. And I have last year I did a complete one where we went through a whole PowerPoint with the contextual dialogue. I'd suggest you check it out. But as usual, guys, when it's a dialogue and it's contextual, you always want to read what is above and what is below, so that when you're filling out the spaces, you're saying the correct thing, because correct and appropriate thing, especially because I could say hola Rene, ¿cómo estás? If Rene just answers, which would be incorrect, it would be correct in Spanish, and you say mi nombre es Rene. Mi nombre es Rene is correct Spanish, but it's not appropriate for the section that we're at. So while it would be correct, mi nombre es Simonette or mi nombre es Rene, my question to her was ¿Cómo estás? How are you? So you want to ensure that in the contextual dialogue, what you're saying is correct. I think you're seeing something else on my screen. You're seeing letter writing. Hold on. Un momento. Because I'm now at contextual dialogue, but I'm seeing letter writing on the screen. Un momento. All right. So yes. So 80 to 100 words. And it's marked out of 20 for content appropriateness, as I said, coherence and clarity, grammar, and also the length, because you have word limits. So to get 16 to 20 marks, use all the cues, because you're going to get your cues. You're going to organize and develop your ideas. And you want to use language that flows naturally. And your responses should be clearly expressed. And you use a wide and proficient use of idioms, the structures, and vocabulary. Everything, as I said before, can be interessante. All right. So, guys, tell me which part of the paper do you have the most challenge with? I want to hear from you. So, preparing for the exam, which section of the exam or which paper? Is it orals? Is it paper two? Is it paper one? Which one do you find that you have more challenges with? Sí, no hay problema, Renee. Después, CCC. As I said before, some of the students would have had this because it was sent out by Miss Smith Hamilton. And this PowerPoint was done by her. I'm just going through the contents. So, yes. So, we're going to look at, I want to hear which orals. Giselle says orals is where she has the most challenges. And which aspect? Oh, beautiful. I have some questions regarding the oral examinations. I'm not going to ask that question. I was just about to ask Giselle. But you can tell me which section, Giselle, you're having the most challenge with. And I'm going to give you some general tips for the CSEC examination. Vamos a ver consejos generales para el examen. Consejos generales para el examen. So, let's go in there. All right, and before I even go in there, what tips would you give to somebody who is studying? Maybe something that you are using that works for you. Tell me. I want to hear. Paper two and orals is where you have the most problems. And she says conversation. All right, we're gonna work on that today. All right. So I see a lot of persons having challenges with the oral examination. All right. All right. Vamos. Let's go. So, what are some tips that you would give to people who, for example, they're doing the exam? What would you say to them? Anything? Anybody? Any tips? Anything that works for you? Anything? Anything? Anything that works for you. What should you do if you don't understand a question being asked? Well, if you don't understand a question being asked, one of the things you want is it that you completely don't understand, you didn't hear. Maybe if you didn't hear, or if you want some time to process, you can ask the person to repeat. But please don't say, repite por favor. Puede usted repetir por favor over and over. But if you didn't hear it the first time, maybe listen to it a second time, and that should help. However, if there's something that you don't understand and you've tried, then you can ask the examiner to continue. But I would suggest ask again, listen for context, because sometimes you won't understand the entire sentence. But if it says, ¿a dónde vas normalmente después de la escuela? And you're not sure the rest of it, but you know ¿a dónde vas is asking for a place, then worst case scenario, if you have tried and you still can't figure out the entire thing, I would suggest that you give a place because you know it's asking you for a place. But with practice, most of the questions you should be able to respond to. All right? All right. So, seguimos. Let's continue. All right. So, here are some tips. As I said, practice consistently in your mirror with a friend. Use apps that will help you to practice and improve Spanish. Something, study your vocabulary by themes. So you want to know vocabulary that would come under home and family or daily routine. You know that mostly for daily routines you'll be looking at the reflexive verbs. You want words like los dientes, you want me cepillo, you want all of those words, me levanto, me despierto, those words would come under daily routine. So you might eat el desayuno and know the communicative functions. So, what are the communicative functions? The CSEC syllabus, and there's a syllabus you can type it in Google. Go to Uncle Google, type it in CSEC syllabus, and it's based on the language functions and notions. So, a communicative function refers to the purpose that the language serves in real life situations. And you see that most of it, when you get your situations, you're seeing that it's asking you to provide information about real life situations. So, what are some of the communicative functions? Now, if you're apologizing, then you want to look for words related to that. So that's one of the things you want to bear in mind. Let me just pull this up. All right. Un momento. Dun-dun-dun-dun. All right, so are we seeing it? Ola, ensure you know the interrogative words and listen carefully for the verbs and the tense of the verb. Awesome, yes. And later on in this PowerPoint, you'll see some of the interrogative words. And yes, you want to know the verbs, you want to know what it's asking. Ola, Ola, Courtney Black. All right, so apologizing. So look at the screen, look at my screen, and then tell me what it is that you are seeing. All right, so if you're apologizing, you can use words such as lo siento, perdón, disculpa, perdóname, perdóneme, lo lamento. So you want to know some of those words. And when you get situations, you might say, oh, you did something. What do you say to apologize to your sister or your cousin or your brother or whatever it is? Know some of these words. Hoping, if you're hoping for something, espero que tengas un buen día. I hope you have a great day. Or so that's with the infinitive, with the subjunctive, lo siento. Espero que tengas un buen día. Espero plus the infinitive if you are hoping. If you are insisting or expressing obligations, you say, tienes que comer todos los días. You have to eat. Or tienes que descansar. You need to rest. Or so you can use it with the infinitive, you can use it with the subjunctive, you can also use debes. Debes comer todos los días or debes beber agua. So let me go ahead and do that. Can you ask the examiner to read slowly? Serena Davis is asking. No, the examiner is not going to read fast, but it's going to be at a moderate pace. So it can't be como te llamas, no, but it can be como te llamas as opposed to como te llamas. So it's not going to be a rrr, but it can be, and you will fall asleep too if it's that slow. But yes, you can ask them if it sounds really fast. You can say más despacio por favor, but not to the point where you expect them to say hola, cómo estás. All right, but again, the examiner, yes, a normal pace is what the examiner is going to be speaking to you in. Because again, and I would have said on numerous occasions, the examiner is a person from another school. Is a teacher from another school, and as examiners, our idea is not for you. It would be great if everybody could do well in the exam, because it's not a case where we can only give this amount of person A or this amount of person 100% or this. No, whatever you work for, you can get it. So if everybody comes and everybody responds to all of the questions and everybody does well, then you will get your grade. So don't approach exam as if, okay, no, I can't get the score. The score is there for you to get. Just show up and do what you have been practicing. All right. So if you're inviting somebody, then here are some words that you can use. If you're agreeing with somebody, you use estar de acuerdo, but you'd say estoy de acuerdo. Or also, that is something I find over the years as an oral examiner. I find that sometimes we have the content, but we're not subject verb agreement, we're not using that clearly. So if you know that estar de acuerdo is to be in agreement, you cannot just walk up and say estar de acuerdo. You cannot just walk up and just say to be in agreement. Who is being in agreement? Is it I? Is it we? Is it they? Who is it? So you want to put that there. All right. So remember, your subject and your verb must agree, and it's very important that you remember your tenses and just do what you know that you have to do. If you agree, me parece bien, you can also say that. If you're expressing regret and disappointment, estoy molesto. Estoy enfadada or estoy enfadado or furioso. You, again, you have to think about what is being asked and which communicative function you need. Do you need to apologize? Do you need to express obligation, tell somebody they have to do something? Do you want to send an invitation? Do you want to agree with something? So you're saying, I agree, or you want to express disappointment. What is it that you want to do? And that's one of the things that you have to do when you are preparing. So ensure that you know these words. I still remember when I did CSEC examination a long time ago, but I remember this phrase, no te preocupes, do not worry. And that was something that I used maybe for two of the things. So if you're expressing condolences, these are some ways that you can do it. If you're sending congratulations, felicitaciones, felicidades, awesome, enhorabuena. So you can choose which ones you want to use, and it's better to have a variety of vocabulary. So maybe for one, you can say felicidades. Something else similar where you need to congratulate, you can say felicitaciones. So it shows that you have a wide vocabulary. Now, if you're expressing good wishes on undertaking a venture, these are some things that you can say. So if it says your friend gets a new job or your brother or your sister, you can say suerte en tu nuevo trabajo. And of course, you want to say it like you're saying suerte en tu nuevo trabajo. So you don't want to say, ay, que suerte. You don't want to say suerte en tu nuevo trabajo. No, guys, if it's shouting, shout. If it's sadness, then show that you know what you're saying with your facial expression. Spanish is a lot of facial expression, hand gesture, all of that great stuff. If you're making promises, te lo prometo or te doy la palabra. If you're advising, you can tell the person, deberías estudiar un poco más. Whatever it is, deberías, anything else you want them to do. If you want to seek permission, anything like that. So you want to look at the communicative functions. It's very important that you take into consideration your communicative functions. And the quicker you understand that, they're trying to see exactly what you know. So, again, you have this PowerPoint. Most of you have this PowerPoint. So, you want to go back through it. You can even take a screenshot of this and learn some of these phrases and the verbs. Any questions? Preguntas. Any questions before I continue? Go ahead. Let me know if you have any questions. Any question? Preguntas. Before I continue, because we're doing this together. Estamos haciéndolo juntos. Any questions? Preguntas before I continue? Guys, let me know if you have any questions. Preguntas. Go ahead. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. All right. And you can see more of this at www.cxc.org. www.cxc.org. I already got my trabalenguas. All right, in section 1, how many written situations? 10. So on paper 2, you have 10 written situations. Each one is valued at 3 marks, and that's why we got 30 marks for the situations on paper 2. So it's 10. Now, beautiful. Well, some people love them, but if it was not your favorite, then for the oral examination, you don't have any situations this year. And we're going to speak a little bit more about that. Guys, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. I want this session to be interactive. So we are all in this together. It's not just I. All right? So, seguimos. All right. So let me just go ahead and continue. Seguimos. All right, so some apps that can help you. You can use Duolingo. If you don't have it, you can download it. It is free. Duolingo. You can use Duolingo. You can use Spanish DICT, that's Spanish Dict, and you can go on the grammar section. And guys, I promise you, you'll find a lot. I have a video here that says how to use my CXE playlist and Spanish Dict, so you can check it out. If you have not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe and join our family. But there's a CSEC playlist here on my channel, so please check it out. I did a sample oral examination with my friend Carissa Martinez, and you will see what we have there. Now you can also use word reference, www.wordreference.com, and that will also help you. Of course, I could not leave without sharing these YouTube channels with you. So you can check out my channel, Simonette Hibbert, and as I said, I have playlists for all grades. If you're grade 7 and you're watching, there's something here for you. Grade 8, there's a playlist for you. Grade 9, there's a playlist. CSEC playlist, beginners playlist, motivational playlist, a little bit of everything. Just check it out. There's some interviews here. Also, very, very awesome channel, Galliet de la Cruz Paul Morgan's channel. If you click the link, it's called Hispanic Connection. You can check out her channel. She is a native Spanish speaker, so this will also help to develop your listening skill. Marsha Robbins Smith also has a channel, can help you with Spanish and also English because she teaches both. Very, very good channel. You can see technology. And also here on this lab, I have Renee Grant, who also has a channel. Renee, you can put the name of your channel. It's her name, Renee Grant. You can go ahead and check it out. So there are so many channels here that can help you. So feel free to join the family. Again, I guarantee that you will get something from these channels. All right. So let's focus on the meat of the matter, which is paper 3, which I said is valid at 33 marks. So you get 33 marks for paper 3. All right. So, listos a jugar? How much do you know about the CSEC oral examination? Now, guys, this section is interactive, so I'm not moving on until I see some responses. So, first question is, what section of the CSEC oral exam? What sections? Let me just put it here. So, what sections of the CSEC oral examination will be tested in April 2022? So this exam that you're doing, can you tell me, is it A, guided situations and oral, lo siento, guided conversation and oral situations? Is it B, guided conversation and reading passage? Is it C, reading passage and oral situations? Or is it D, oral situations and reading passage? Please put your response in the chat. Let me know. Which is it? Which is it? Remember, we're not moving until I get an answer. So for number 1. All right, I see one answer. Renee said B, guided conversation and reading passage. Does anybody else have another answer? Anthony says, I think it's B. Awesome, guys. So the answer is indeed B. Because as I said, you don't have any oral situations this year. And I keep, Windy City says B. Awesome. Deshante B. Awesome. So again, you do have written situations, and I need to emphasize it because I don't want to say you don't have any situations and people think it's not on paper too. So yes, same like the last 2 years, correct. So for this year, you get a reading passage. Now, for the reading passage, you get that. You go outside and you can read. You can practice the reading passage a little beforehand. You get it for before you start the exam, approximately 10 minutes. But the conversation, you would not see that beforehand. Usually you have oral situations, but for this year, like last 2 years, you won't have any oral situations. All right, seguimos. Let's go to number 2 and let's see who is ready to respond to number two's question. Un momento. So number two's question is, and again, here's your answer: guided conversation and reading passage. All right, let's continue. The CSEC oral examination lasts for, is it 15 to 20 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, or is it 5 to 10 minutes? What's your response? ¿Cuál es la respuesta? Dum dum. Who is gonna answer number 2? ¿Quién va a contestar? ¿Quién va a contestar? ¿Quién va a contestar? All right, let's see who is gonna put their responses in the chat. Which answer? What answer is it? I see Renee says C, 10 to 15 minutes. Deshante says A, 15 to 20 minutes. Any other answer? Anybody else? ¿Quién más? Okay, the correct answer is C, 10 to 15 minutes. Now, you should be finished within, say, 10 minutes, but 10 to 15 minutes. Packaging hub, actually, the packaging hub, the correct answer is C, 10 to 15 minutes. All right, so here we go. Correct answer, 10 to 15 minutes. All right, let's look. How much do you know? How many marks are given for the reading passage? How many marks do you get for the reading passage? Let's see your responses. How many marks for the reading passage? All right, I see Anthony says D, 10 marks. Anybody else? You're saying you get 10 marks for the reading passage. Let's see if that's correct. 10 is the correct answer. So 10 marks for the reading passage. Let's go to our next question. How many marks are given for the guided conversation? Is it 45? ¿Es el 45? ¿Es it 35? Is it 25? Or is it 15? Let's see. What are your responses? Let's see. D. Oh, that was for the first question. Guys, go ahead. Next question. How many marks are given for the guided conversation? Anybody? I see A. I see somebody's answer is A. All right, let's see if you are correct. If it's 45. Oh, felicidades, Anthony. All right, so the answer is indeed A, 45. So you get 45 for the guided conversation and 10 marks for the reading passage. All right, so how much do you know about the CSEC oral examination? You're not expected to answer the questions based on the reading passage, and that's true. So you don't have to answer any questions after you've done the reading passage, but you will respond to approximately 16 questions in the guided conversation. All right. Now it says all themes will be tested in the 2022 oral examination, and the answer is false because you will get four out of the 6 themes But again, you want to prepare for all 6. And you're given the conversation questions. That's false. You don't see the conversation questions before, but you get to see the reading passage before. So let's look at it. That's a total waiting for CSEC oral examination 2022. So it's a total of 55 marks. You get 10 marks for the reading passage, and that's one passage that you're reading. And you're getting approximately 16 questions for the guided conversation for a total of 45 marks. So the 10 plus 45, 55. All right, so let's practice our trabalenguas. Is there anybody that would like to come on screen and try? Let me know. If not, practice where you are. But if you want to, let me share the link for you. So let me put the link in here if there's somebody who would like to try this Trabalingua online, in person, in live, in vivo. Who would it be? ¿Quién va a ser? ¿Quién va a ser? Who will it be? ¿Quién va a ser? Tum, tum. ¿Quién va a ser? Tarararam, 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 tarararam. Who? Anybody? All right, try it at home. Anybody? Let me know if you got it. If you tried it, put it in the chat and say done. If you tried saying it. All right. Seguimos. All right. So, for the oral examination, read the examiner politely on entering the room. I know you might be nervous. Remember that the examiner is somebody in authority, so you don't want to say ¿Cómo estás? You want to say ¿Cómo está? And minimize the number of times that you ask the examiner to repeat. Again, you can, but not after every question. And then sometimes it's evident that the person's they're not sure what the question is asking any at all, and they ask it to repeat 2-3 times just to say they still don't know. And try to speak in Spanish at all times. Try to be calm, confident, composed. And if you make a mistake, mistakes are a part of learning. I make mistakes in English. I make mistakes in the Jamaican Creole, in a patois. So it's okay. It's natural. And if you self-correct, especially when you're reading, you will not be penalized. Again, you can't do anything like overdo anything. So if you're saying, hola, sorry, lo siento, mi nombre, it will affect your fluency. But if you make a mistake, that will not be the end of it. So please remember that. Because I know personally, whenever I worry too much about making a mistake, that's when I make a mistake. When I just show up, do what I know I'm supposed to do, it works out better for me. So I'm gonna suggest the same. Sometimes we say, "Oh, I don't want to make a mistake. I'm so afraid." And then we start it. Our brains have a way of sometimes everything that we fear will happen to us, and that's why you say you manifest or you attract things. So let us be positive. Let us put out positive things in the atmosphere. You got this. You can. Yo puedo, say I can. Again, when you get the reading passage, do not write on the papers. It's an oral examination. Yes, when you get the reading paper, I suggest you look at words that you might find difficult and you want to pronounce them, so when you get inside you can pronounce them to the best of your ability. You want to group words, so you can't say bolsa and then say roja because the adjective and the noun goes together. You want to look at those things. You want to see if there are any questions, so you can read it like it's a question. if there are any exclamations, so you can read it as such. However, do not write on the paper. And as I said before, agree adjective must agree with the noun, and your aim is to wow the examiner. But you have been doing this. You have been preparing. Your teacher is helping you. Your whoever it is that is helping you. You got this, guys. I know sometimes if we listen to others, we say, "Oh, it was so hard." It was. You got this. Just go in there, and it's your time to show up. For the reading, this is how you get 9 out of 10. So look at it. Outstanding. So if you're outstanding, your pronunciation and fluency will be outstanding. You use correct accentuation and stress. You show comprehension of passages through correct phrasing and intonation. It can't be that the person is saying, ayúdame, and you read it like, y María dijo, ayúdame por favor. No, we want to show that we understand what we are reading, or we are phrasing it correctly. All right. Again, the reading passage, all of the exam is to see what you know. You want to remember that the H is silent, that the J is pronounced like an H in English. So we don't say Jamaicana, we say Jamaicana. We want to pronounce our vowel autobus. So you want to look at where you have your accents. All of those, you want to take those into consideration. And you see them. You see 2 L's in the reading passage because we want to know if you know that 2 L's are pronounced like a Y. So again, guys, it's just for you to remember the rules. Very good. We're aiming for outstanding, but to get very good, then you'd have very good pronunciation and fluency, correct accentuation, and only occasional and incorrect phrasing. I don't even want to go down to good, nor moderate, nor limited, because limited would tell that you have many errors, you lack fluency, you stumble constantly, poor pronunciation, frequently comprehensible, and don't go to unsatisfactory, very poor, many basic error cannot be understood. So let us aim for outstanding. So that's what we are aiming for, outstanding, because that's what you are also. You are outstanding. Yes, you, that person that is doubting themselves, yes, you are outstanding. So just keep going. So before the exam, you want to watch, you want to read aloud and listen to lots of Spanish materials online and offline, and use your travelinguas. They will help you. Tongue twisters, free up your tongue. Try to gain a general understanding of what the passage is saying, because sometimes you see it, you won't understand everything, but try to get a general understanding. If you, as I said, if you see words, you want to break them into syllable, you want to repeat the words. Remember, you have some time outside with the paper before you go inside. So you want to check to see what it is that you are doing. So if, for example, it says el internet ha demostrado ser, so you see they want to see if you know the internet, h, so you don't want to say el internet ha, you want to say and demostrado ser el canal, and sometimes we, because it look like canal, you might say, so you want to make sure that you know canal and then perfecto para adquirir conocimiento. So if you are, because sometimes when we see those words, we just start saying things. Conocimiento desde. So you can't say desde and then la and then comodidad de tu casa u oficina. You have to say desde la comodidad. So from the comfort of your home or office. Again, you want to group words. You can't, again, looking here, you cannot just say canal and then perfecto, because those two go together. Perfect channel. You have to look at words that you have to group together. All right. And fluency does not mean speed. So it is, you don't want to just start saying, oh, I read so fast, but everything you said was incorrect. Moderately is okay. Again, I spoke about intonation, expression. Spanish is expression. Spanish is so fun because it's so much expression. You get to express yourself. Look out for cognates. So don't say the word and say geography and region. Region. Again, I have another pronunciation video that teaches you how to pronounce G and I, C and I. So pronunciation overall. And reread the passage at least once before you enter the room. And just check it and ensure that you can, and I know you can do it. So I'm not too worried about if you can do it. It's now for you to believe that you can do it and break it down. And yes, you are going to be nervous. Yes, yes. It means your nervous system is working. So we're gonna work on that. And if you're, as I said, take a deep breath. Let's do it together. Uno, dos, tres. All right. So for those who are stressed and frustrated, come. Let's get it off. 3 deep breaths. Come on. And when you, if you've done your orals already, all the best on your next 2 exams. If you have not done it yet, come. Let's go. 1, 2, uno, dos, tres. Otra vez. Otra vez. Big one now. Everything. Taking all of the goodness out. It's everything that you're worried about. 1, 2, 3, and hold it and out. Yes, positivity we use to survive. So during the exam, as I said, take a deep breath if you are nervous, read at a comfortable and reasonable pace, and pay attention to punctuation. I tell this story every time. When I read for CSEC, I didn't see any full stop, meaning they were there, but I just read. My idea was to just finish the passage. And because I'm nervous, the 120 or 30 words seem so much, and I just want to finish. Don't be like Simonette. Read, pay attention to your punctuation, pause at your commas, and make a longer pause at your full stop so we know that you know what you're doing, all right? And pay attention to your accents. And again, if you make an error and correct yourself, you will not be penalized. Again, we don't want to overdo anything, but if you make a mistake, an error, you can fix it. Remember to breathe. And number 9 says, remember, do number 8. All right. So for your guided conversation, which is the majority of the mark for the reading comprehension, you are going to get 18 to 20 marks if you comprehend all the questions and you answer readily. Now, if you, and for the 45 marks, you get 20 out of that for comprehension and spontaneity. So 13 to 17, if you comprehend most of the question the first time and answer with minimal hesitation. Also good if you comprehend many of the questions but you answer with minimal hesitation. Now, the next 25 out of the 45 you get for expression and fluency. So outstanding is what we're aiming for. 23 to 25 if you respond very appropriately and fluently, because sometimes you'll answer a question but it's not appropriate. Correct expression and wide range of varied vocabulary. Very good. 20 to 22 marks. Respond appropriately and fluently, and correct expressions with occasional inaccuracy and wide varied vocabulary. So you can still get up to 22 marks. For good, again, we're aiming for outstanding. To get 16 to 19 marks, you respond appropriately to most of the questions, but you lack fluency and there's some inaccuracy in expression. And you have a fairly good range of the vocabulary. Now, is this you? This cannot be you. After all of this will not be you. Me in the oral examination trying to figure out what the examiner just said. Is there anybody in here who feels like on the day this is what you're going to look like? Tell me. Anybody? ¿Quién será? Who is it? Who will it be? Who is gonna be like this? Nobody. I'm glad I'm not seeing any answers in the chat because you would have been preparing, and you are going to do so great. I am so proud of you already. And whenever you're doubting yourself, just listen to my voice on that day. If you've done it already, when you're in paper two and you're in paper one, think about it. I'm there saying, sí se puede, sí se puede, sí se puede. Deshante, sí se puede. You got this. You can do it. Just keep practicing. Practice, practice, practice. All right. So let's continue. Seguimos. All right. Now, how can you prevent this phase that we just saw from happening? You can remember and apply the important tips. So listen for keywords. So again, for the question earlier, you might not understand everything. Listen to the parts of speech such as the noun or the verbs and the adjectives and adverbs. You're listening for keywords. You're going to use vocabulary that you already know and context clue to help to understand what is being said. So you know some of these words: la familia, rutina diaria, pasatiempos. You know some of these words, so you know they're asking you something about that. And you're going to pay attention to the question words that are being used. So you're listening for the question words. It's asking you where, why, how, and we're going to look at them. So you answer the question readily. Try not to hesitate too long before answering, and especially those that you're sure of, answer them confident, loud. I don't say wrong and strong, I say answer them strong and with confidence. They can't ask you, come to and say, and you're like, pues me llamo Simone. No, answer the ones that you are sure of. Watch for your tenses. That's one of the problems. Subject verb agreement and the tenses. Those are two of the problems I see a lot. So to answer confidently, you must be comfortable in expressing yourself in a different tense. So yo compro, yo compré, yo compraba, yo compraré, compra, compre. So please look at them. Remember, if you're saying I do something, you can't say yo compramos. You must say yo compro. That's a present tense. But if it's a past tense, you bought something yesterday at 5 o'clock, yo compre. If it when you were over a period of time, I was younger, I used to buy, yo compraba. And if it's in the future, yo compraré. So please, if it's a command, compra, you need to know when to use what. Alright? And when thinking about your responses, try to use words like bueno, pues, a ver, but don't overdo anything. So you want to bear that in mind. All right. Please let me know if you have any questions, any concerns, anything while we're going through. Please let me know. All right. And you want to use varied vocabulary and idiomatic expressions. So don't panic if, because sometimes you have something and you can't remember it. Don't panic. Think of something else and try to understand the entire question before responding, attempting to respond. And guys, don't preempt what you think the examiner is gonna say. So if they say, "I don't basta," oh, you say, "Oh, they go ask me when I go after school." No, it might be, where do you go on the weekend? Where do you go with your family? Listen to the entire question before you start answering, even if it sounds as if it's something that you heard before. All right. And here are some interrogative words. So, for example, let me see how best I can show you this. All right. So, if it says como, cuál, cuáles, cuánto, cuántas, how much, it's asking you how much. If it says cuándo, it's asking you when. If it says dónde, what is it asking you? If you hear dónde, you know it's asking you what. Number 9. If the question says dónde, what is it asking you? Let me see. Guys, I need your participation. Came back contestar. Who's gonna answer? If it says donde, what is it asking? If it says donde, what is it asking? Let me see who knows the answer. Where? Very good. And if it says de donde, from where? A donde, to where? So where are you? Where do you go? Que, ¿A qué, con quién, with whom, por qué, why, quién, quién es, a quién, para quién. So you need to know. And guys, if you don't have this PowerPoint, please let me know. Yes, I see a lot of where. Learn, see these ways. Chris M, welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome everybody. ¿Dónde vives? Yo vivo en Jamaica, pero ahora estoy de vacación. I'm on vacation. Okay, so, seguimos. Ay, my battery, don't tell me that my battery died. Okay? All right, I'm back. Because I was wondering what happened. I thought my battery died. Let's see how much percent I have. All right, so, seguimos. Let's see. Any questions, guys? Preguntas. Any questions? Muchísimas gracias. Thank you all for joining. Let me know if you have questions. Tell me. Any questions? Preguntas? Let me just give you a question. ¿Cuántas personas hay en tu familia? Who can respond to that question? ¿Cuántas personas hay en tu familia? ¿Quién va a contestar? Guys, if you want to join me on screen, please let me know. Dum, dum, dum. Anybody? Somos 6. Hay 5 personas en mi familia. Ok. Tengo 4 personas en mi familia. Okay, Anthony. I would prefer, you can say I have, but I prefer there are. Hay 5 personas en mi familia. Okay, muy bien. Los fines de semana, ¿qué haces normalmente? That's my next question. Los fines de semana, ¿qué haces normalmente? Mal, hay 5 personas en mi familia. Okay. Normalmente vamos al cine con mi familia. Okay, you can just say, normalmente voy, if you're going to say vamos al cine, you can say mi familia y yo vamos al cine. Or you can say voy al cine con mi familia. Normalmente yo juego. All right, you left out the E. Yo juego videojuegos. So don't say juegos de video. Videojuegos. Normalmente estudio mis notas y arreglo mi dormitorio. Muy bien, learn CDs way. Normalmente, all right, so this is what we're talking about. You want to say I watch TV, but you say to watch movies. So you want to say normalmente yo miro películas, not mirar. Remember, we want to break down the verb. So I watch, yo miro las películas y, okay, y escuchar. Lo siento, y escucho. So you want to say, and I listen. If you're gonna use I have to, which you use at the bottom, y tengo que estudiar, and I have to study. That little part is correct. But if you're saying normally, I watch movies, yo miro. And for the most part, in the present tense, most, you do have exceptions like estoy and soy and others. But most times in the present tense, the your form of the verb ends with O. So yo miro, yo escucho, yo como, yo bebo, yo bailo, yo estudio. So yes, Mara Davis. Thank you for correcting, Mara Davids. Normalmente yo veo series o series y escucho música. Oh, qué bueno, René. Yes, you have to conjugate the verb when you are speaking. Yes, Anthony. All right. Anthony is from Trinidad. Thank you for joining us. All right, guys. So let me know. Anything else? Next question. Let's see. Um, ¿Has viajado a otro país? ¿Has viajado a otro país? Go ahead. And guys, I'm going to stay with you 7 more minutes. So if there's a question that you want to ask, you can put it in the chat. 2 to 7 minutes. So let's see. Because I'm going on the road after por supuesto. He viajado a Panamá. Yo también. Yo fui a Panamá. Sí, he viajado a los Estados Unidos. Yo también. Y let's see who else. Is there anybody else that's going to answer that question? Let me see if I have any more question that I want to ask you guys right now. Ahora mismo. Let's see. Send to. All right, I'm gonna do some more questions. Let's see. All right, here's a question. ¿Qué tareas domésticas haces en casa? ¿Qué tareas domésticas haces en casa? All right, Chris M. We want to. Okay, lavo los platos. All right, muy bien, learn see these way. Chris M. You want to say I wash dishes. Want to conjugate it. So yo lavo los platos, not las platos, los platos. Good attempt, but again, we want to conjugate the verb. Tengo que lavar los platos, lavar el coche de mi mamá y pasar la aspiradora. Okay, muy bien, Mal Davis. Chris M, we want to do that, to lavar, no, not lavar de la ropa. Yo lavo la ropa. So take off the AR and take out the D. Tengo que lavar los platos, sacar la basura y limpiar mi habitación. Muy bien. All right. Cocino la cena, plancho la ropa, limpio el dormitorio y los platos. Muy bien. Good. So, please bear that in mind. So I'm seeing some great answers, and I can see that Chris M knows what the question is asking, and he knows that he washes the dishes. But we want to conjugate the verb. All right. Let's go with another question. ¿Qué haces normalmente en la tarde después de las clases? ¿Qué haces normalmente en la tarde después de las clases? I want to hear. Yo quiero oír. Taran, tam, tam, tam. Tum, 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 tum. All right, guys, 3 minutos más. 3 minutes more. I'm not. 3 minutes more. Un momento. All right, sí. Sí. Normalmente charlo con mis amigos después de las clases. All right, thank you. Después de las clases yo voy al centro comercial con mis amigos. Muy bien. Estudio por 2 horas más o menos y hago mis deberes. Muy bien, Mar Davis. Suelo, estudio y dormir. Ciérrame. Hola. Welcome. All right, next one. So if suelo, estudio y duermo, and I sleep. All right. Normalmente, ¿qué almuerzas los domingos? Normalmente, ¿qué almuerzas los domingos? Hola, Tar. And I'm going to do another one for paper 2. So I'll do a live for paper 2. And I'll do another live for paper 1. I do have some lives for paper 1 already from last year. And paper 2 too. So please check them out in my CSEC playlist. And share it with your friends. And Sierra May, I need complete sentences. So pollo y arroz. But I want you to say yo como pollo y arroz. And I always teach my students this. So it's like chicken, but we do chicken and bread. Or we can use chicken and arroz. So we say pollo y pollo y pan. Pollo y pollo y pan. Yo como pollo y pan. Or you can say yo como pollo y arroz. Whichever it is. Or pescado y arroz. But we want complete sentences. Anthony, complete sentences. So you can't say ir al centro. You have to say voy al centro, not a la centro, al centro comercial y la playa los domingos or el domingo. So on the day of the week, it's always going to be, so if it's on Monday, it's el lunes. You never say en lunes, en martes. It's always going to be el if it's one and los if it's more than one. So los lunes on Mondays, los lunes tengo que ir a la escuela. I have to go to school. Or los domingos tengo que ir a la iglesia. I have to go to church. But on a day, so if I say on Tuesdays, for example, I have a live on YouTube, I say los martes or los martes a las 5 de la tarde. So you say on is, for this, I know that on is en, but when you're speaking about on a particular day, you're just gonna, if it's one day, you use el domingo, el martes, el miércoles. If it's more than one, on Sundays, los domingos. So please bear that in mind. So los domingos como papas fritas y pollo con vegetales. ¿Sí? Okay, qué bueno. All right. Again, and remember, a plus L is al. So if you're going to a place, so I go to the bank, boy. If it would be boy a el banco, can't say that. So you say boy al banco. All right, let's go with another question. Describe cómo es un día. No, lo siento. Describe cómo es un fin de semana con tu familia. Describe cómo es un fin de semana con tu familia. I want to hear that. Yes, Anthony, voy a la iglesia los domingos. So if it's a and the next thing is l, that's the only time you write al. But if it's a and the next the article for the noun is la, you just write la. So boy a la iglesia, fine. But if you're saying boy a and the next one was el banco, then that's when you get al. All right. So voy a la iglesia, one church, voy a la iglesia con mi familia los domingos. All right, Anthony? Los domingos, mi familia y yo, nosotros comemos la comida y nosotros jugamos juegos. Okay. Generalmente mi familia y yo vamos a la playa los domingos. Remember, we don't say en los domingos. Remember, even if you're saying on Sundays, as I just said, you don't say en los domingos. Leave en. Anytime you're thinking on a particular day of the week, never say en. Say el domingo, one Sunday, or los domingos, on Sundays, more than one. Please. All right, Mari Davis. Los domingos, you left out the G. Los domingos, mi familia y yo pasamos todo el día limpiando la casa. ¿Qué? Y no comen ni nada. No comen, no beben, no juegan. You and your family just spend all day cleaning the house. So you don't eat. You can add eat, but it's not a lie detector test. So that's fine. It's correct. All right. So Los Domingos. All right. Okay. Seguimos. Next question. ¿Qué haces normalmente un día cuando no tienes que ir a la escuela? ¿Qué haces And let me stop repeating it twice because that's not going to happen in the exam. So, all right. Generalmente mi familia y yo visitamos a la iglesia o visitamos la iglesia los sábados. Los domingos miramos la televisión juntos. La televisión juntos, sí. Los domingos, hold on, Chris M says, normalmente mi familia y yo vamos a la playa los fines de semana. So on the weekends. Los domingos mi abuela cocinaría para todo. You can just say mi abuela cocina. She cooks. Alright? Yes. Alright. Mi familia y yo miramos la película. Okay, is it that you watch the movie or you watch more than one? If you watch more than one, miramos películas or miramos la televisión los domingos y visitamos a mi abuelo los sábados. Okay. Visita a mi abuelo los sábados, not los sábados. Or if it's one Saturday, el sábado. But this seems like on the weekend, so it would be los sábados. On Saturdays, lo siento. Los sábados. So if you're saying we visit our grandfather on Saturdays, los sábados. And if it's one Saturday, el sábado. And again, that is Monday and that's also on Monday. All right, ¿qué más? So anybody's gonna answer that last question? Cuando no voy a la escuela, voy de compras con mi mamá. ¡Qué bueno! Muy bien, learn CD's way. Muy bien. Muy bien. Trying to find if I see one more question to ask. Told you guys I was going to stay with you. And I am staying with you longer than I said. All right. All right, let's end with this question. Oh, cuando no voy a la escuela, duermo. All right, mal, muy bien. Me gusta escuchar la música y mirar la televisión. Muy bien. And televisión. So you want to change that I after the L to E. And again, after me gusta, you want to leave the verb in the infinitive. So me gusta comer, me gusta cocinar, those things. Me gusta viajar. All right, so final question. ¿Qué haces en la noche antes de acostarte? ¿Qué haces en la noche antes de acostarte? Um, Me quedo en casa con mi familia. Muy bien, Renee. Muy bien. Come, guys. Vamos, porque yo voy pronto. Rezo, I pray. Ok, sí. Antes de acostarme, me cepillo los dientes y leo un libro. Muy bien. All right, guys, give me your responses. Antes de acostarme, me baño y me cepillo los dientes. Ok, muy bien. Right. And Chris M, if you could give me a little bit of meat on the bone. So even if you're going to say I pray, say antes de acostarme, rezo. All right. All right. So any questions, any concerns, anything that you learned today, anything you still need clarity on before I go? Please let me know. Antes de acostarme, tengo que cepillarme mis dientes, bañarme y mirar una película. Because if you're using tengo que, let's continue with the infinitive. Chris M. All right. Antes de acostarme, escucho música de gospel. Muy bien. All right. ¿Qué más? ¿Qué más? ¿Qué más? Any questions, any concerns, anything before I go? Please let me know. Will you do a live for a situation? Sure. For paper 2, I can. I can. I do have some in my CSEC. Let me see if I can find my CSEC playlist. Guys, if you have not subscribed, don't stop. What's holding you back? Please subscribe. Let me go to Chrome tab and put up a new one. What's stopping you from subscribing and sharing it with your friends and joining us? I'm excited to see all of you. I'm excited to see my channel grow. I remember when I just started, now I have 2,850 persons. And I didn't have so much when I started. And just like with everything, it's a process, guys. So I just want to encourage you. Here on my channel, you can see interviews. In this playlist, you'll see some interviews that I did with some amazing individuals. So you can see Randall Chacon, you can see Mrs. Ramona Smith Hamilton, how Spanish changed Alric's life, and a journey from Peru. Oh, it says my battery is low. I might want to plug it in. Let me hurry and
Achieving a high score in the
yes, the oral.
first step in a
Hold on.
long legal career. Look, LSAT Max.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yes. So the oral has only 2 sections. It has the reading and the guided conversation. No oral situations this year, but you still have your written situations on paper 2. Can you do a breakdown of the oral exam? Yes, I did. It's here on it. So I went through the oral examination to let you know that you get 10 marks for the reading and 45 marks for the conversation. So you can even rewatch this live and you'll see the breakdown throughout the PowerPoint. But it's 2 sections that you have this year on the orals, and it lasts approximately 10 to 15 minutes. I'm kind of hurrying now because I don't want the battery to die and we don't get to save this. So it says I have 6%. All right. So as I was saying, let me just quickly show you the CSEC playlist. Dismiss. I don't want to see that now. All right. So here we go. Quick. 6%. I don't want it. You just go on my let's see, grade 9. So it says CSEC Spanish, and you'll see I have 28 videos in there. So you can see all the videos. Preparing for CSEC Spanish. You can see tips for oral examination, when to use sir, when to use S star, how to conjugate AR verbs, ER verbs, We're looking at some past paper questions, 5 tenses you must know. I suggest you watch that one. This was last year's timetable, the reflexive verbs, telling time, shopping, how to use my CSEC playlist, and SpanishDict.com. Pronunciation guides, how to pronounce C and G. CSEC Spanish again, paper 2, 5 study tips, paper 1, what to expect in the exam, daily routine, practical tips to improve your Spanish, and the timetable, and mastering CSEC oral examination. So there's a little bit of everything for all of you. So, guys, again, thank you so much for your time. Muchísimas gracias. No oral situations. Yes, that's great. No oral situations this year. Again, you do have the oral situations on paper too. Yes, you if you to send you the PowerPoint, please send me your information on my Instagram, Espanol underscore in Jamaica. Again, I just want to give credit to Miss Ramona Smith Hamilton, who created this PowerPoint. As I said before, when they have the workshops, I'll put the next one, because all those who attended the workshop, I'm hurrying because I don't want the battery to die. Those who attended the workshop, you'd have gotten this PowerPoint already. So just go on Instagram, send me a message with your email, and I can forward it to you. All right. So thank you guys for your time. Muchísimas gracias. I could not do this without you. And I will see you again when it's my next live. I put it on my community page and asked you some questions. So please check it out. Let me know if there anything else that you want to see. And I will see you all next time. Mwah. Tengan ustedes un buen día. Que tengan un buen día. And know that you got this. And the only person that can stop you is you. La única persona que puede detenerte eres tú. Have yourselves a great